All right.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. J and Professor Spike coming to you live, streaming live from Long Island, New York. One with
the albo whisperer.
The albo whisperer. The whole world is shitting on a pot. And
everybody a pill or a brick. It's like
everybody's albo is golfing, calm, relaxed, 19-1, no problem. The odds are 19-1 on success, right?
Yeah, I waver between 18 and 19, something in there. Yeah.
Oh,
all right. Well, here's where the rubber hits the road. Did you hedge or not?
I didn't hedge. Zero hedges. Nothing.
All right, there you go. There's a man with conviction. I didn't hedge you. That's because I can't afford to hedge. Yeah. But I don't hedge anymore. I don't know.
Well, the puts weren't priced properly, and no one was buying them. So I was like, even if I wanted to hedge, it would have been too expensive.
Yeah.
All right, so we all have a big bet going on Alberio Pharmaceuticals. So we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to get to the chart pretty quickly. The public seems to have more doubts than Arjan does because the price is going down today on an up day. And that's usually not the greatest sign in the world, but you never know. I've seen the public get it right. I've seen the public get it wrong. So I've seen it both ways. All right, let's take a look. Man's here. Jiggly showed up today. Big Tex is here. And the Blue Origin landed safely. Bezos is back.
Right.
Daniel R. is here with us. Sean is here with us. And let's see what else. Who else is here? Patrick is here. Patrick is here. Patrick bought my albo this morning at 34.20. Stanley Wong is with us. Okay, let's get started. Share screen.
All right.
As always, your own due diligence. Our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with the advisor before acting. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button now before you forget. And give us a thumbs up at some point if you like.
If we deserve it, which we will.
And what can I say? Check out our merchandise. So,
merch.
Here we go. Merch. I'm going to have a Spike shirt. What could be better than a Professor Spike shirt?
No, I don't think it's Spike Lee.
This is my Dr. J shirt, but I'm going to get out a Spike shirt. Spike shirt.
Well, then we'll have a picture of a chart with a spike down.
Well, I think Professor Spike sounds better than just Spike, right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, Spike is already taken.
Yeah, we'll do Professor Spike and an Arjan shirt and a Jake shirt. Why not? All right,
if we make that shirt, I guess I'll have to buy one.
Yeah, so we want to get to the average.
All right, we have somebody who's calls himself a long-time lurker, first-time poster. All right, he's really hoping for albo too. Yes, we all are.
Okay, so this is a complete reversal of yesterday with the S&P up 1.35% or 57 points. The Dow up 1.63% or 553 points. The NASDAQ up 1.02% or 145 points. And the Russell is flying up at 2.25%, a huge pop on the Russell.
Yeah, well.
And that's the most interesting index of them all. We're gonna look at the Russell. First, we're gonna look at Alberio. That's what most people are here for today.
Indeed.
And of course,
And
the rust is extremely important as well.
yep. I guess we
So
can
we're gonna
start
look
by
at the Russell.
saying the EU approved Bilve yesterday, which is a great
Congratulations. What's his name? What's
Ron
his
Cooper.
Ron Cooper?
Ron Cooper.
Yeah, I was
Congrats,
calling him Ron Johnson the other day.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. I was chuckling.
If I say Johnson, I mean Ron Cooper. And if I say AOL, I mean Apple.
Right. we know how to
one
decode.
name in my Parkinson's mind. My Parkinson's mind associates AOL with Apple for some reason.
Because it starts with an A and
All
ends with an O.
Albo, I tend to call Alpo, but not today. Not on a day of FDA approval. It's not good to fool around. So today Albo is Alberio. It is not Alpo. Don't get confused with Alpo and Albo.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I guess I don't have enough data to know. Like, does price action on the day of approval ever predict anything? I just don't know. I'm asking.
No, I'd say it's about 50-50.
Okay.
In other words, half the time the public gets it right, and half the time the public gets it wrong. So the answer is no. It's not predictive.
This could look like a the news on Europe.
Does that make you feel better?
I mean, I feel the same regardless. I want to know at some point. I wish I could do some sort of study on this. There's one person who commented something really interesting that I noticed too. There were some puts bought this morning at 22.50, but I saw some corresponding call buys on the exact same time frame. So I do think that what Shane Dog said, I think it's a straddle.
Yeah, what's happening is last minute finagling.
Yeah.
It's the last opportunity before Pdufa to hedge or to whatever you want to do, play straddles. A lot of the day traders are coming in just for the action. It's easier to put the bet down on Alberio Pharmaceutical than to fly to Vegas and shoot craps. It's
one is more fun and quicker.
A lot cheaper to play the options. It's a few bucks, and plane fare is more.
Where is that?
So I just made it dense, and you can see that the trend line is not holding lately on the 1 day. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the weekly. Although the trend line is not holding, it's not a clean break of the trend line, so it's nothing conclusive here, like John.
Yeah, it's just kind of noise. Look at the volume; it's just tiny. I mean, this stock has been very difficult to read for that reason for a long time.
Let's take a look at the weekly. Sometimes you see things differently.
Yeah.
All right, so the weekly. Basically it's the same trend line and the same conclusion that it's wavering at that trend line. It hasn't broken it totally, so it's not that meaningful, but I would have preferred it stay above the trend line. But it only closed below the trend line for the first time Friday, right? No, yesterday. Yeah, this is the weekly, so that's yesterday, Monday. So yesterday closed below trend, or it's trading below trend today, actually. Yesterday was above the trend line, I think. Not sure. But the trend line on the weekly is essentially the same. The upward direction is clear though, because if you notice, we've got nothing but higher highs all the way to essentially all the way till February of 2021. And beginning in February, we retreated
Very funny.
about halfway, and now we're starting to move up again. So what have we got here? We've got a double top that will get taken out with good news, we hope.
Yeah.
There's a few things we got to figure out today. If approved, will it take that pop or will it not take that pop?
That's a good point. Yeah, there's no reason it has to go above 43. But I think we'll hit 50. That'll be my guess. Pre-market or post-market, it'll hit 50. Then it'll pull back and
the thing that worries me is it may respect that 43 double top resistance. It's more than a double top. It's like a quadruple top.
Yeah.
It may respect that. So if it respects that, even with approval, we may only get a 10, not that it's bad, but we may only get a 10-point pop. Not that that's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
And also, this has been the trading range, essentially. We're still outside of just a couple of months. We've been in this trading range since, what is this date? I gotta get rid of this. Let's see, let's see if I can get a date. Since September 2020, we've been in this range between 43 and 30. And even if you want to restrict it more, between 43 and 33 for most of it. So you don't even have to go down to the 30. Mainly it's 33 to 43. So you would say then that we're at the bottom end of the trading range. And I think that's true. We're at the bottom end of the trading range. Which is that a good thing, coming into Pdufa to be at the bottom end of the trading range? Again, I wouldn't make too much of it on the negative, but it doesn't make me super happy either. So at best, it's a neutral.
Yeah.
At best. It's maybe slightly negative, but at best a neutral.
Yeah.
You know, before earnings, I like it when it sells off before earnings. I've done much better betting on earnings when the stock sold off the day before earnings, and then if it rose. If it rose into earnings, I got more nervous than if it sold off or was flat. So earnings works that way, but Pdufa, I would have liked to see a little run. I mean, you could argue we had a big run over the last.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. Like, how much do you value that over what happened the last couple of days? It's hard to say.
Right. We ran from 27 to 33 where we are now, which isn't bad. So over the last few months, beginning May 10th, we've had a nice big run. So a little retreat before Pdufa. Maybe it's people banking the gains. Maybe people expected to be able to get a little further juice before Pdufa and sell. And they're selling anyway because they're nervous about staying in. There's a lot of psychology, and this is also institutions, right? Mainly, or am I wrong?
Yeah, it's like 90+% from every source I've seen.
So this sell-off could be one institution or two institutions getting you a little nervous before Pdufa for whatever reason. There could be some institutional unloading prior to the Pdufa.
Pretty crazy low volume, but yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
Now a little bit, not a lot. They might be taking a little bit off the top, and that's enough to drive the price down. If one institution takes a little off the top, that's enough because it's such a low flow.
Well, yeah, but Shane Dog's saying that he doesn't think this is much institution action, which is actually good news because then institutions are still holding strong.
I'm not sure that they know any better than we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm going purely on odds, right? Like the EU approval coming yesterday when everyone expected it to come 2 weeks later, I think is a good sign on the manufacturing front because the manufacturing is done. It's going to be a global launch, and the manufacturing's primarily all being done at the same site. So the EU didn't see a problem with that. It's possible the FDA does.
Where is it, Arjun? Switzerland?
Believe so, yeah.
So the question is, did the FDA get its ass over to Switzerland and to do the inspection?
I can't know that definitively. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but that's really the question. Now, Ron Cooper should know that answer definitively because they didn't show up they didn't show up in the middle of the night, break into the manufacturing facility and inspect, did they? Somebody.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't want to. Like, I'm not reading too much into what he's saying on that call, I guess, because you saw him as dodging the question. I saw him as basically he was saying, look, like we've launched drugs before. We're using the same process to do so. What more do you want to know? I feel good. I like to go into the great detail of what the FDA did. Maybe he can't tell us. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on.
Yeah, maybe. But, it seems almost unfair if the FDA didn't show up at all because of being distracted by COVID and what other priorities. If they couldn't show up for the inspection, it doesn't seem fair to issue a CRL if it's strictly the FDA's fault.
I see. Okay, here's what I guess I'll say. I see like 97 to 99% chance that this does not get a CRL. I think if something's going to happen today, it'll just be a minor delay. That's really and the downside on that, I mean, could be $5, could be $7. I don't really know, but I just know I'll buy that dip because that dip is not going to be warranted. It just won't. It won't make sense.
Yeah. Well, if they couldn't inspect, then maybe that is what would happen, a minor delay till they can inspect.
Yeah. And I mean, I hope that people didn't play options heavily here because I think really the way to play this is it's a great long-term investment. I have like 95, 97% of my position in shares. I won't sell today unless it pops. Really?
Well, I have almost the same idea. I have very deep in the money call options, 17.5s. So effectively, I almost feel like I own the shares.
Right.
I'm so deep in the money. And yeah, I mean, I could certainly exercise for 17.5 at any time until August. I have called. But to back it up, I did play the August 25s and the August 30 puts. I did play them for backup purposes.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, Jiggly's asking where I would sell pre-market. I would trim anything above like 45 to 48. I'd trim a little. I'm not selling all of it though.
Well, that's one advantage you have over me. I cannot sell my calls pre-market. I don't believe that's possible, right?
Sorry, what's possible?
I don't think it's
Pre-market
possible to sell the call options pre-market.
No, you can't. Yeah. Calls, you gotta wait till
Yeah,
9:30.
so you have that advantage, you have owning the stock as opposed to the calls. I have to wait till the market opens. And by that time, some of the gain could be gone, which often happens. But who knows? Sometimes it goes up above higher than pre-market. You never can tell.
Right.
So you got to get a little lucky in this game.
Good question, Jiggy.
The other question I have has nothing to do with Alberio Pharmaceutical. Was why did we sell our Moderna? Did Professor
Oh, yeah.
too early?
Wow.
I bought it at 50, right, Professor Spike?
Yes, we bought it early and sold it
And
early.
then I sold it at 180, and I thought I was a genius.
Well, you were. You were smarter than me. Arjun, do you have anything to say about VBIV, since that was one of the ones that you were on for a while, and seems to be like a dead fish?
We're going to come back to albo again, but for now, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still holding VBIV. Like, it's one of those things where I have a few stocks where I ignore the chart. VBIV's one of them. I just think that there's a multitude of reasons why I'm bullish. I don't have a timeline though, so I totally get why. If you're purely playing the chart here, then I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you.
Look at the weekly; it had a tremendous run up.
Yeah.
Only since we have this segment that we call the Arjun plays, and we've been focusing on albo for a while.
Right.
It did.
Yeah, I mean,
tremendous.
This is like a technology, like the EVLP technology is good play. Like, I just believe that tech will eventually win. So buy every dip. Just don't really look at it. I don't know.
Well, the first dip is down here on 11.8. That dip took us to 207. Then it had its run, and it dipped again to a higher low at 268. Then it dipped a little further and a little further to
245. Yeah.
245 before running up again recently to 431, only to dip to a low, which came, was it yesterday, at 284. So off the low of yesterday, we're already up significantly. So
Yeah.
It's got a lot of resilience. In here.
Yeah, I can confirm too. Like, I've been tracking the short interest on this because this is one that I studied pretty well. And like, usually the short interest doesn't really dip on these like yo-yo moves where it goes up and down. But this last one, when it went up to like 430 and back down, was the first time where there was confirmed like 10 or 11 million short shares confirmed returned, which I just thought was interesting. I don't know if it necessarily means anything, but shorts are exiting for some reason. So just a fact.
It's usually a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a nice trend line. We're below that trend line. But, I mean, it's like you said, the chart doesn't look phenomenal. But we definitely have support. We're at the 200, and the 100 is about to make a positive cross with the 200, which is bullish. We have support about 247, probably higher than that by the time it gets there. 255, which would be like midway between this recent low and where we are now. 255 looks like support. And the thing is, it would be following the downward sloping line if it does hit that. So, like you say, Alexander, the immediate picture on the chart is not great. You got to believe that long term, this has got a lot of potential.
Right.
And be willing to suffer a little bit more if you have to, like we did with BCRX.
Mm-hmm.
If we have to suffer a little, so you buy lower and average up. As long as you believe in it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think one day we'll be pretty happy with this, but yeah, I mean, the timeline is kind of unknown because management doesn't, and this is the only thing about VBIV I don't like. Management doesn't really tell us much. They just have little quick PRs, quick calls, and they move on. But the data is always good whenever they release it. The tech is good. I mean, I like betting on good science at the end of the day. So
the thing is, there's a lot of competition in the vaccine market.
Yeah. I just think they're the best, like, period.
They might be, but it'll have to prove out, over time.
And I think at this market cap, like, they're already undervalued, so I don't mind adding. Yeah.
The Russell is bouncing hard off the lows from yesterday. Big bounce up.
Well, it's interesting how you say it stayed above that support line, that line in the sand that you drew on Friday.
Yeah, 207 was the key level, right? That's right on the IWM. I didn't look at the Russell, but it should be the same picture, and it is.
Oh, yeah, no, we've been doing this one, so we should stay consistent.
It's the same picture.
Yeah.
You're looking at support right here at 207, 2.075. It's exactly where we're looking for support. And we came very close yesterday, right? Let's see where we were yesterday. The low was 2.107. Yeah, so it's about 3 points away. 3 points from the bottom. Would have been a great place to come in yesterday, right? Let's look at the IWM. That's how you bet it.
I'm too afraid.
If you want to bet this thing, you're going to place your money on the IWM, not on the RUT. So let's take it. It should be a similar picture. 2.66%, which mirrors the RUT. It's supposed to do, of course. Verizon is loading and reloading and having a good time today. The IWM holds the key to the direction of the market in my mind, because the S&P is great, but it's only 500 stocks, and the Dow is great, but it's only 30 stocks. I'd rather look at 2,000 stocks. And when you look at 2,000 stocks, you see that we clearly broke the trend line, or at least this trend line. So that's not good. But on the other hand, we didn't break the trading range, which is good. So the trading range, I think this is what Professor Omar was looking at, this trend line.
Yeah, he was looking at the lows going higher and higher.
Yeah, which is basically this trend line.
Yeah.
Maybe up a little bit, you
got a lot of hits on this line, so use this one.
Well, maybe he's looking a little bit higher like that.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter which way you draw it; it's still below.
Mm-hmm.
On the
and from his perspective, it's still a positive slope.
Yeah, but however, I think more important is this wall of support. What is it? 207. We looked the other before. 204. 204 is really the bottom of it. 204. But 207 is a big key number here, isn't it? 207.21. Yeah, I think 207 is, let's say between 204 and 207 would be the wall of support. I could add that line in, but we get the general idea. And the top is 235. So if we break through 235, just open up the piggy bank and buy everything. And if on the other hand, we break below 207, I'd be careful here. I'd be very worried that we have a complete collapse called a crash. So this is a very key picture to me. The Russell 2000 is the key to calling this market. Remember, I sold everything, but I refused to make a call. I will make a call if it goes below 207.
Yeah,
or above,
I remember you saying that.
Or above 235. So this is the key picture in my mind for the IWM or the Russell. And I think that's really more telling than the S&P, in my opinion. Let's take a look at one that I like it for a COVID play. I like quite a few, of course. But I'm in this one, HGen. And they should be getting approval pretty soon in UK for their cocktail. It's not really a cocktail, it's a monoclonal antibody that reduces inflammation for people on ventilators or very sick people. The whole key to helping people pull through on COVID odds is to stop the cytokine attack. And then apparently this one can do it. So this is very, very interesting fundamentals. And the chart looks pretty good too, I think. Let me get rid of the lines I drew. I gotta clear this up a little bit. Unclutter it. Because I think there's a clear trend line to be drawn.
Yeah, I'm ready to move. Sorry, I'll let you know.
Perfect trend line, isn't it? It's really a nice trend line.
That is nice, yeah.
Occasionally you get these beautiful trend lines. And we came off a touch of the trend line probably yesterday. We're on the weekly still. So on the weekly, this tells a very bullish picture on the weekly. I think this is one that I'm happy I'm in and probably will add more. I'm liking this one a lot. I'm liking it on the technicals. I'm liking it on a lot of things. You have the 9-day above the 50, and you have the 50 and the trend line merged. Hit the 50, hit the trend line, and started moving up. So not only did it find support at the trend line, but it found support at the 50. This is a double support area. I like that, double support. And then we have the 100 and 200. So this is very bullish on the weekly. Everything is as it should be. We have a series of higher lows all the way up to trend line. And we also have a series of higher highs. High, high, higher. So we have the higher highs, the higher lows. We have a very bullish picture here. And we have a very wide channel also. You could draw this parallel line in. So this looks very nice to me. The technicals look really good, and so do the fundamentals, with UK approval likely to be followed by FDA emergency use or whatever. I think it's all going to happen for this one, especially with the Delta variant running wild. This is a good play right now, in my opinion. And of course, my opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. as always. All right, so let's look at the daily on this. Similar picture. Very nice picture. A picture says 1,000 words, doesn't it, Arjun?
Yeah, I would say it does, especially here. This is, I mean, that trend line is as many touches as you would want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So if you
here's what-
believe in it, buy now.
Yeah, which I did do, and I probably should add. I'm up on it. I probably should add. Session is one that I got out of.
Right. So
The opinion is that they're likely to get a CRL, at least that's Dan's opinion. Dan is also the opinion that Albo is likely to get a CRL. Session is due for approval in August, right? Sometime in August. We have very strong support, which it almost came down to the other day. This is the daily. The support is at 357. It came down as low as 360. Look at that.
you guys are funny.
It also hit the 50. So it hit the 50 at the same time as it almost hit the double top that we had there, which is now support. It was resistance, it's now support. So this is a very nice area to buy Session in. Came down to trend line support, double top support, and the 50. Very nice area to board it at. If you board it at 361, 365, very nice buy. I'm not saying it's going to be successful, Pdufa, or not, but it was a nice pickup. You could be looking to get rid of it soon, way before Pdufa, up around $4, and cash in. So it was an excellent swing trade back here. At this point, you have this 406 resistance area. If you pass that, it should run. I don't think you pass that. I think 406 is going to be a tough nut to crack. That's my opinion on this. Up until Pdufa. So I think what you're looking at is trading range. Right between these two lines. You want to swing it, go ahead. You got a 40-cent swing, 44-cent swing in either direction.
For a $3 stock, isn't that a little tight?
It's 10%.
Yeah.
I'll take.
Nah, I mean, yeah, you'll play those games. Because
I don't mind 10%. You can't get that in the bank.
certainly cannot. That's true.
You want to look at a CVM, how it continues to bleed, or not really rub it in?
I'm still in it, so I would love to see it. But you also promised Dermatech and Neo.
Let's do the ones I promised. DMTK has been bouncing strong lately. So let's take a look at that. Oh, not today, but it did bounce.
The gang right now is mostly concerned with what they're going to eat at Arjun's wedding.
Arjun's inviting all of our followers to the wedding.
Yeah, so far the best gift idea is the Dr. J T-shirt.
Did you phrase that as a question or a statement? I'm inviting everyone to the wedding.
Either way. Maybe both.
Oh wow! I got some time to decide. Check your snail mail.
Yeah,
check your Snapchat.
Our Ben will be glad to invite you as long as you give him $1,000 gift.
That'll be 200 Dr. J shirts.
Yeah, so we're flirting with the 200 on the price, and this is on the daily. And it had a nice day yesterday, so it's giving back a little, and it had a beautiful day, an engulfing candle yesterday, and it was after a 15-day downtrend. So I really like the location of this engulfing, and it actually was below this level, I think. 28.95 was the old low, May 13th. Did that get taken out? 28.95? Maybe not. No. So this is still a very key level. This 28.94. We don't want to see that go. That would be like Professor Omar says, just forget it if that happens.
Or using, when you get technical terms, that would be stinky poo poo.
Yeah, that would not be good. So let's draw that horizontal line in. This is a very key level. We don't want to see that taken out. That 2868 area, that's sacrosanct, cannot be touched. And then this low that we put in yesterday with the turnaround is a very key level now of support.
Mm-hmm.
So the low yesterday was 32.13. You don't want to see that taken out. I think if 32.13 is taken out, I would be out. But I would ride it as long as it, shows some life. Because DermTech is one that I believe in the fundamentals. But the technicals have been weak up until yesterday's big bar, big green bar. So
you're not going to call that a double bottom, Dr. J?
A double bottom? You mean from yesterday? Yeah.
2 hits.
32.15 was a low back there, and this low is 32.13. Yeah, it's close enough to be a double bottom for my way of thinking.
I got to hang my hat somewhere.
Yeah, it's a support area, and also look, it also was a bottom here, key bottom, 32.39. So this area has been, and over here as well, there was a hit. It's a very key level of support, definitely.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying about that other line. If that other line gets broken, we're in bad shape.
Yeah, I really want to see it move up from here. This pullback is normal halfway down the green candle. You know what I always say, go in halfway down that green candle. I think it did hit halfway down the green candle today. The low was 33.25. I'm sure it was about halfway. I'm not going to draw it, but eyeballing it looks like about halfway. And you want to take a quick look for a different perspective on the weekly, maybe? I don't know if we'll get much of a different perspective. But, we had that super phenomenal run from the $10 level to the $80 level. And we've been giving back ever since. But maybe, just maybe, the 50 was support. This line was support on the weekly.
That would be a nibble.
Well, look at yesterday. We hit this low from 3 weeks ago of 32.15, and we hit the support on the 50. I love when you have multiple areas of support, trend line and moving average. I really like that.
It gives people like me a couple of reminders before to go out.
Right. Yesterday was a beautiful time to come in.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's still not too late.
No, I mean, it is. So it's showing a nibble sign right now.
Yeah, yeah. What was the other one I promised, Neo?
You promised Neo.
All right, Neo. I also wrote it on right up on top this time. ETHE is another one.
And yeah, that and CRISPR as well, right? I mean, those were the ones.
Neo,
You would do these in teams.
Neo, I love Neo. I just nervous about the Chinese. They get me a little nervous in the service.
There's a give back, but some support.
This is a clear uptrend. I mean, you don't have to question, are we in a bull market? We are in a bull market, sir. So that's one thing. So when you're in a bull market, you want to pull back to some level of support and buy. That's the idea. We're definitely in a bull market. So where is the support? There we go. The 50, which is synonymous with, sort of synonymous with this trend line. Let's draw that trend line.
Ooh, I like this.
It's basically synonymous with the 50, right?
Yeah.
Close.
It's pretty with that.
According to this chart, we are basically bounced off of that little trend line, right? Now the question is, are the Chinese going to do something crazy or not with their stock market, with these companies, with these tech companies? They seem to be getting crazier and crazier. So that's the thing. That worries me a little bit. XPEV, they're threatening to delist. I mean, I don't know, they're doing all kinds of things. So if you trust the Chinese are not going to be too crazy, then this looks like a good buy. Looks like a good buy right here. Very good buy.
Well, since I didn't really understand what was going on, what was all that business with Didi anyway?
With what?
The whole business with Didi that got everybody all into.
Didi, they threatened to pull the app.
Okay.
I'll give Didi a look.
No, I know. It was just that was the catalyst for a lot of this China fear. Was that one stop?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
I think the catalyst started earlier with the investigations of Baba and the fine of Baba.
Well, yeah. Did they ever find that the owner yet, or is he still gone?
What's that, Professor Spike?
The owner or the president of one of those companies. The guy was sort of gone for a little
while.
while.
One of them is hiding in jail or dead. Yeah, one of them.
Right. I was asking whether or not he ever resurfaced.
I don't know.
We don't, just like the Chinese, we don't get a whole lot of good Chinese news.
Chinese stocks have been underperforming, I think.
The revenue is about 10 times that of Uber.
I guess you can't really look at the weekly on this one.
Right.
Let's see if you get any information.
Yeah, it's a hard chart to read. It was more. Yeah. This was more about the news, not about the stock itself.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to reflect anything.
We're in a downtrend for the time that it's been alive, and right now I just wouldn't run after this one. Although you never know. I would. Timing is everything. It looks like it could go lower. And it's all, again, you're dealing with unknowns with the Chinese. It's tough. What else?
Want to look at Tesla since we're on the EVs right now? Tesla or Churchill?
Before I forget, I want to do ETH.
Okay.
I like ETHE. I've been buying it since a couple of times this morning. I nibbled at it.
Really?
Yeah.
I bought it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just sort of holding it as an investment.
You can't see much on the daily, so let's look at the weekly. What I like about it is it's very bullish. We're in a bullish pattern. You have the 9 above the 50, above the 100. There's no 200 yet on this one.
Thanks, Tim.
We bounced off of the 50 very nicely. And we also have support down here on the bottom. So we have support there. Let's draw that line out. Let's take this one. Right in about there, there's support. And, you know, the fact that we bounced off this 50 so nicely is a very good sign. So I like it. The trend is clearly up. We have a sequence of higher lows until this one. So we just broke the sequence here, but we found trend line support. I do like it. I've been nibbling on this one. I think we have solid support at this level, 1270. Could get there. Hope not, but it's possible. What else did you want me to look at?
Well, we have a couple of requests also.
Yes, let's do the requests.
Oh yeah.
So one of the requests was charge point.
Electrification of vehicles, charging stations. Fall from grace, but it held the 50 for a long time on the weekly, but now it's gone below. It looks yucky poo, unless you look for a bargain. I would look for a bargain on this one. Yeah, if you want to buy this one, I look to buy it lower. And it's probably a good buy lower. But where? Let's say we're to 50, hit this low right about here. If you want to go back to that. Yep, that looks like a good spot.
Yeah, good spot.
1933. Beautiful time to come in, let's say 1950 to 20. Somewhere around there, it's a beautiful.
Tim anticipates some share dilution in charge point.
Oh, okay.
So I would be
looking at just below 20. That would be my entry point. I think it's a great place to be buying right around 20. What else?
CTIC.
CTIC has got great fundamentals. Pdufa in November, almost a sure thing. There's never a sure thing, but their MF data looks really good. Most myelofibrosis data.
Tim, do you know the price?
They've been up the last few days. It looks like we're forming an engulfing candle. Let's see if it holds up by the end of the week. We've been in a strong downtrend, giving back almost daily. I think we might have bottomed here. So the 200, which has a downward slope, has been serving as support. The 50 is still above the 200, but not above the 100. You want this 100 to cross the 200, which it probably will do with some kind of a little pop. And we're going to get that pop? Maybe. I'd like to see this candle increase a little bit in size by the end of the week. So that if we close, let's say, right about here, that would be very bullish to me. Right about 250. I'd like to see it close 245 to 250 on the weekly. Even now it's bullish because it's engulfing as it stands. So bullish candle, overall bullish chart with a typical little give back. It looks like a big give back, but if you you realize where it came from, a buck or under, it's not that big a give back. So, you know, it's probably in the middle of its trading range, haven't checked, but it looks like a buck to 350 or something like that is trading range. So it's
350.
yeah, 350. So to 275 would be the,
So you would get that since you're from Brooklyn. Remember when
but
somebody asked you how much something cost? They'd say about $350.
$2.50, $1.25, like 2.25 would be the middle of the trading range. And there we are, right about that. Right about that. So, you know, the fundamentals are great, but it's a long way to Tipperary till November. So it's a question is, you know, I don't expect any big runs, but I don't expect any big sell-offs. So I think you got to wait on this one. I like the recent trend, although it was broken, but now you got the mixed signals on this. I would say mixed signals, because I want to draw a trend line going up here, but the problem is we've already busted that trend line, or more or less. So
that's a coulda, woulda, shoulda line.
Pick your poison on this one. Stay in. I would probably stay in, although I don't know, I can't say that. I had sold my CTIC along with everything else, but I might be back in at any moment, just like ATHX. I don't dislike this one. I like it. What other requests?
ATNF, DraftKings, and then we could end with CRISPR.
CRISPR, I advertise. Let's do that one.
Yeah, well, that's why I figured we'd end with that, because that's the good news. Why don't we do ATNF first?
All right. Which one?
ATNF.
ATNF. What's that?
I'm not sure. It's just one of the requests.
It's the first one I haven't even heard of in a while. Huh.
Well, that's why we got to keep things fresh.
Yeah, I guess so. Life Sciences Corp. Very generic name.
Well, the weekly shows a clear uptrend.
This is what Mr. Cheney says. If you guys haven't heard of ATNF, 180 Life Sciences, check it out. The team behind it are the Avengers of the Bio World. Huge catalyst coming up in Q4. Well, it's always good to hear about something new. And since we're just doing the technicalities of it anyway, no harm.
Yeah, I mean, it does look weak this week. This week looks weak.
Yeah.
But the trend is clearly up. So it might be a good place to look for value to re-enter or to enter. One place to, of course, would be the 50, but that takes you all the way down to 745.
I don't know. It seems like that actually seems like the place to get in at this one, because there's a lot of mowed down.
Probably the 50. I just don't trust it right now with this trend line break. I do think you got to look for value on this one.
Yeah,
probably the 50. Let's look at the daily. Maybe you get a different picture. Sometimes you can see a better entry point. The daily actually looks better than the weekly, because yesterday was the weak candle. Today's a little better. And we found support at the 100 on the daily. So this is a better picture. Much better picture.
Right. It makes it look like a more reasonable stock to buy.
Yeah. No, it didn't look unreasonable on the weekly. It's just that it made me think you could get better value. Better entry point. That's all. I'm just looking for the, a little bit cheaper the entry point. But this is not a bad entry point, maybe, just where we were the low yesterday, which was 100, maybe. Let's see, the 9-day is about to have a negative cross with the 50. The 50 is above, the 100 is above the 200. This is clearly a bullish chart. It's a bullish chart with a nice pullback. And this looked like a great opportunity to buy at the bottom. It always looks like a great opportunity to buy at the bottom. Yesterday's bottom was a good buy. So if you think that way, 820, why not split the difference? Go in, look, put it in at 835. And then you could, if you could swing it to the, you could swing it to the 50. Wait a second, this is 100. You could swing it to the 50, which is right about 940. Yeah, 835 to 940. That's even good enough for you, right, Professor Spike, for the swing?
Well, it's certainly showing you a nibble sign.
It's
And you're right, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you believe in that bottom, the 818, then you should definitely nibble a little right now.
Yeah, and maybe swing it up to the 50.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's certainly all I can say is it's a very nice bullish chart. Pullback happens, and you want to take advantage of a good entry point. Well, what's the next one?
Well, depends on time whether or not you want to do DraftKings, but we should end with CRISPR.
DraftKings and CRISPR.
Yep.
And then we talk a little bit more about albo, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what. There isn't much more to say, but we can talk about it if it makes everyone feel better. We can talk about it.
Actually, sometimes when I'm waiting,
find out. When do you think they will know? After the close?
Yeah, I feel like every time I play these, it happens at well, you're on the East Coast, like 7:30 or 8.
Yeah.
Which, you know, not ideal. I would like to just see it halted right now, but
all right.
Well,
Well,
DraftKings put in a low here at $39 on May 13th. It had a key low that it busted through at 44.65, and it's now come back to trade above that. Yeah, you know, it's not been behaving like I'd like to see it behave, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the weekly on this, see if we get a different perspective. The chart on DraftKings is not that great, at least on the daily. The weekly has had a huge run up, very bullish. Now it looks like a better chart when you look at the weekly. Sometimes you just got to look at the weekly. Pull back here, and we have a very important low that we got to hold at 39.93. So that can't be taken out. 39.93. Well, actually, you also have the double bottom here. Yeah, you have areas of support, but you really want to see you really want to see this $40 level not be violated. So as long as that $40 level is not violated, it looks like you can accumulate. And I think it should go higher unless the markets crash.
Right.
So barring a market crash, this should be going higher, and probably okay to buy an average in.
They had some good news today, and we know that the NFL is going to be starting soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of catalysts, and they might get New York State as one of. New York State's going to pick 3 gambling sites, right? Sports betting sites. Maybe this will be one of them. That would give it a shot in the arm.
And all my family will be bankrupt by the end of the decade.
Yeah, I mean, I think didn't we call it to go to 100 by the end of the year? That's not happening, but we still might get a nice move.
It doesn't look like it's happening, but you never know. It's a long way to the end of the year.
Yeah, true. But I like DraftKings.
I get so much spam phone calls, and I think that's
very likely.
I got rid of it.
Just an FYI, Eyes on the Money really wants to see NSAV if we get a chance.
All right, then we'll do it. The weekly on this one is, again, a tremendous bull run, normal pullback after a big bull run. On the move again. It's found support at the 50 on the weekly and is retesting that support. I think this is a great entry point if you're not in it already. So you don't have to look any further. It's a buy right where it is. Now, what and I like it a lot. I like it to go to double from here.
Yeah, I'm still holding to NSAV. NSAV. Net savings. So it looks like another one of these crypto servicing companies, which is actually the way to go in terms of, the coins themselves go all over the place, but the companies that service the coins might be.
It's very hard to chart these over-the-counter bulletin board stocks, but I'll try.
Market cap, very, very small. It's a micro cap. It's got 100. The market cap is 144 million.
Okay, they're a real company with that market cap. Weekly shows that something's up. The pump is up. They're getting the pump going.
Yeah.
How high will the pump go? I don't know. It's very hard to read these.
This is a sub penny, right? It's hard to.
It's hard to analyze these.
Yeah.
Little pump and dump schemes. Okay. Yes,
indeed.
I tend to stay away from them, but every once in a while I get tempted, and sometimes I dabble.
It started off at a penny, and now it's all of 5 pennies.
It might be in the dump. It might be done with the pump and starting to dump. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there something compelling about this play that you wanted to see?
There's a story for every one of these penny stocks.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, this is 4.6 cents. I thought it was 46 cents. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's penny stock, literally.
I don't even think my company let me buy these.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm not in on the pump or the dump, so I don't know.
Okay.
I would stay away. That would be.
And if you're going to play the pennies, there's an opportunity.
My unbiased opinion, but if I were to take a shot at it, would probably be right around here on a pullback.
It says there's a launch on August 9th.
It's a what?
There's a launch on August 9th.
A launch on August 9th?
Of the service.
Uh-huh. Well, there's a catalyst ahead, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I said, every one of these have a story. Where was that line that I wanted to draw? Around midway. And move it up a little. I think at 4 pennies. Yeah, I would not chase this one because it looks like it wants to give back. If you want to be in this one, I'd look to pick it up at 4 cents. We ending the show with this or what?
Well, the only other one that was left over, you already did CRISPR. No, there's nothing left over.
I did them all, everything that I wrote on the list.
Yes, you did.
Well, I could give some parting words for all of our albo fans. I found one way to hedge. And that is I sold a little bit of stock in some of my other stuff that I have less conviction in, so that if there is a delay, I'm going to buy the entire albo dip, every share.
That's your hedge.
Oh, wow.
My hedge is I want more, basically.
This is a
One more
man of conviction.
Because here's the way I see it. Like the EU approval alone.
Got to yourself.
Yeah, the EU approval alone should be worth about 200 million in revenue per year. So that justifies a share price of $30 to $35 a share alone. So if it dipped below 30, basically, and the US did some weird delay stuff, you would still, I think, be at fair market value at $30. So that's my rationale here.
Do you think that Ron Cooper was being understating his projection of the second half of the decade hitting $1 billion in revenues? Is that understated in your opinion?
I think it's around accurate. And the thing is, if that billion is true, which I do think it is, that puts albo up at about 150 to 200 a share. I mean, that's like in 4 years, but 500% gains in 4 years
is not a long time either to hold the stock that moves from 30 to 150. What's wrong with it in 4 years?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, if anything, I think they're going to expand to adult indications at some point. And so I feel like right now you're betting on the pediatric revenue, but eventually the adult is what's going to get it to $1 billion. Yeah.
Professor Spike, any parting wisdom on albo?
No.
Okay, so in summary, we have a man of conviction in Arjun and a man of no conviction in Professor Spike.
I still got my money in it. Just waiting.
What are you putting the odds at, Professor Spike? Even money?
Well, this FDA has been very, very unpredictable, but the fact is we're seeing a sell-off on the EU information, which is pretty much how things have been working lately. So I think there's going to be good news, and then it's going to react poorly on good news. So there'll be an opportunity to buy for the long term.
So you think it will get approved and it may not go up?
Correct.
That's a possibility. So here we have a super optimistic, yes, we're getting approved. Yes, we're going to 150 within 4 years. Arjun. And we have Professor Spike, who isn't arguing the 150 in 4 years, but in the immediate future sees some further weakness possible even on approval. And Dr. J, who is somewhat optimistic, at least right now. I have quite a bit of money. I'm much more on the long side, but I am hedged. So I have less conviction than Arjun. I'm somewhere probably in between the feelings of Professor Spike and Arjun. I'm going to put the odds on approval at 65% or 2 to 1, right?
Mhm.
So I think we're 2-1 favor of approval.
I like
Adios,
that.
amigos. Bye, Man. Bye, Jiggly. Bye, Big Tex. Bye, Dan. And Sean and Stanley and Patrick. And all you good people and Jackie. And Jackie, if you're in that penny stock, good luck to you. And Sounds by Ram.
Yeah, she got it. She got in it too, so she's in good shape.
Linda is with us today. We must mention that. Mr. Cheney. And who else do I see? There's a long list.
Everybody, we have a good list today. Well, bye all. Have a good week.
Trillion Reasons. Let's see what A Trillion Reasons had to say before I get off. Albo and U.S. have mutual recognition agreement on GMP inspections. AMA approval means their inspection condition. That's very vital information, Trillion Reasons. I'm so glad that I showed this. If that's the case, I'm moving up my prediction from 2-1 to more like 3 or 4-1 favorite. Because if that's the case, if that information's true, what Trillion Reasons is saying, I think Albo should be approved. And that's it for today. We're ending on a very optimistic note. Adios, amigos. Be well. See you Friday at 4:30. Do not forget to give us those thumbs up. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And tell your friends about us and buy our merchandise and wear it to the beach like I do, and everyone will ask you, what the hell is a candlestick? What is that thingamajig that you're wearing on your shirt? It's a nice conversation piece. Sean says FDA approval. So we have a lot of optimism amongst our followers. A lot of conversation going on. And you should join us on the live chat next time so you can be part of the conversation, which is very interesting. See you all on Friday. Bye.